So you have a huge desire, and then you have smaller desires that are going to get you there along the way. So you guys want to be able to utilize that in the way and watch it start to work for you. And as we progress into this next chapter, which talks about faith, it's going to be huge with desire and faith and how that those you bring those two together, what happens when the blending of them happens. All right. So what I did want to go over is the quote of the day. The quote of the day. And I pulled this one out because I send them out daily. I have a list, and you guys are ultimately get on that list. But some of you guys on here already received those texts. And it's let me say this here. Join the Facebook group. They'll be updated in there. That's one. And when I started my journey, I just gathered a whole bunch of friends, family, whoever I could. I didn't even ask them a question. I started sending them texts. You know what? I figured this out. I said, you know what? People's phone is the next thing that's closest to them outside of their spouses, their children. So why not drop a positive message on people early in the morning to get their mind thinking in a way of being a positive person? And, you know, and I may be annoying to some people, but in the same sense, I've seen people change their lives, the way they have thought, the way they've started to move. And you can see when somebody gets a new phone number in the group, because they'll be like, hey, get me out of this chat group. And then people on that chat group be like, what's wrong with this guy? You know, these are positive messages that are going around. So for family and friends that are on here that receive those text messages, I want to say thank you for riding with me for the 4 or 5 years, because I started that right after I jumped off, I burnt that bridge, right? And we talk about burning bridges. Burning bridges in a great way. And I'm just going back, recapping a little bit. Burning bridges so that you don't have to go back across to them, right? Not burning bridges in the sense of just doing it for the sake of it. You're doing it because you're eliminating yourself. You're eliminating going back to what you used to do, or something that you love so dearly that you know you have to cut yourself off from it to progress even further. All right. So the quote of the day says, as my life evolves, so should my circle. As my life evolves, so should my circle. That means as I'm changing, right? As I constantly start to change, if those people who I grew up with aren't changing with me, there may be some distancing from me and those people. And that's okay. And you have to understand that. That is okay by every measure in the world. And when I say it's okay, it's because some of those people that you leave behind, they remember that old Mario. They remember that old Miss Bernice. They remember that old Miss Stephanie, right? They remember that old person, and they want to deal with you in that manner, right? But with that being understood, you have to understand that my growth has brought me away from this place, and I'm continuing to move forward. All right, some people get stuck in the place and they say, well, I ain't never changing. That's not true. As you can see, as we grow older, our skin changes, our look changes, as we start to shrink a little bit, all right? But our brain continues to work. We are in constant change. So why not change the way we think, right? To think in a positive manner, to gain the things that we want to gain out of life. And that's huge. That's huge. It also says, in order for me to rise to a rightful position, I must constantly be evolving. I must constantly be evolving. This world is constantly evolving, all right? So we have to evolve with it. We have to continue to grow. We never want to get stagnant. What happens to a tree, all right, that you know it's an oak tree, but you planted it in a pot that was only allowed it to grow 5 feet. You stunted its growth, right? You stunted the tree's growth when that tree can grow to be a huge tree. So sometimes we have to unplant ourselves from one pot and get into a world that allows us to grow and manifest into a bigger person. And that's what we're learning here. And I'm gonna tell you guys this here, thank you, because you're allowing me to give instruction, which allows me to learn it that much better, right? It's a great thing for both of us. One thing, let me finish the quote. It says, I will trust and believe everything that I'm going through is preparing me for some request I put out in the universe, right? I may have hit on this a little bit last week, but as we put those requests out, there is going to be a trial period. You're going to be tested. You're not going to get that immediately. It's not I put it out there and I'm waiting for it to happen next week, right? If it can happen next week, that goal was too small for you. But if you just want to test it out, what I'm telling you is find a small goal. If you want to test it out, see if it works, find a small goal. But if you really want to test your mental, find something that you can't reach, that you have to actually go out and work for. All right. And put the mental capacity along with the physical capacity to make yourself that much better. So, in understanding these things that we want, we have to work for. There is going to be a testing period. And through every test, there will be a testimony. You will be able to tell your testimony after you finish the test. And that's called the journey, right? When we talk about the journey is the best thing, because when we arrive and we get that thing, it's like, okay, I accomplished this goal. Now what's next? Because now when we're talking about that ever evolving person, ever evolving world, when we're talking about evolving, we just don't get stuck in the, okay, aha, I got it. No, we're either going to expand left and right, or we're going to continue to grow up. And that's going to be huge for us. All right. Elevation requires separation. And understand this here. As you elevate, you are going to separate from some of the people who don't want to grow. And that is okay. That is okay for you to leave them in that space, because now you have to be a demonstrator. You have to show them, hey, I left this space to go get this so I can continue to grow, right? We're looking to build generational wealth. In that concept, I have to constantly keep growing. And when we talk about those riches of life isn't just monetary, right? It's building harmonious relationships. It's about developing who you are, right? All those things come into place. Anybody know about baking cakes, right? I know Miss Bernice knows about baking cakes, right? As we learn this philosophy, you don't want to just use one of them. You don't want to just use desire. You don't want to just use a statement of desire. You want to be able to utilize all of these things, because when you bake a cake, you don't just use flour. There are a couple of different ingredients that go into developing and building that cake. So you have to utilize this as the ingredients. As you start to learn these ingredients, it's going to work that much more for you and that much faster for you. See, it's about personal development. It's about us learning who we are and us changing our way of thinking. And in us changing our way of thinking, we have to go in and learn what a PMA is, a positive mental attitude, right? So, and let me just state this here. All of us have the positive and the negative that lives within us. And you have to understand that. The greatest thing is us to do is to suppress, because each one of us can bring out some negative stuff and be a very negative person. Or we can choose to say, you know what? I'm going to take the positive road. I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to be the better person. And I'm going to continue to work on me and moving into this space. All right. So in understanding that, we have to suppress the negative. Just like there's night and day, there's positive and negative influences in our lives. And we just have to be able to choose which way we want to go about doing those things. All right. Let me ask you, and Claudiane, you can probably see it on your end, but is there anyone that would like to read out their statement of desire that they did last week? Is anybody that would like to, by the show of hands, read out their statement of desire? That is going to be huge. We're going to be able to reach out and call on someone. I want you guys to be able to participate during this time, all right, and not feel any way about it. And when I say that, feel any way about reading your statement of desire. Read it in your truth. If it's something that you really want to accomplish, you know how and how to express it. You know how to go about saying it. And these are things that are going to continue to suppress upon our subconscious mind to get us in the spot that we need to be in to grow. Do you have, has anybody raised their hand? Can we, excuse? Nakia, we're gonna.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So I'm
Yes.
going to read mine.
Okay.
So it says, the exact amount of money I desire is $1 million in the next 2 years. I intend to give 20% to help uplift youth in different ways, provide education, counseling, mentoring, teaching, as well as I'm going to become a best-selling author, as well as invest. I intend to possess this money by speaking, counseling, coaching, creating programs, books, investments, mentoring, developing a clothing line, and real estate. My plan of action is to grow my business, which is called Lotus Experience. And I have another business, Evolving Mentoring, as well as my clothing line. Collaborate with others to invest is number 2. Number 3 is to create/manifest opportunities to speak, write more books, and gross $100,000 at the for this year with my clothing line.
Yes.
I know a lot.
But it's great. But it's great. So it's not a lot. It's for you, and embrace that. And then you need to say that every night. I want you to memorize that. Even if you have to. So what I'm gonna tell you, even if you have to record yourself and then go back, you know, I learned how to say those things by writing them down and then breaking them down. So it's your life. This is what you want. Let's go through it and say it. And I thank you for raising your hand and stepping up. And you will receive that, definitely.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Miss Francis. Can you unmute it, please?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good.
I will acquire $120,000 by performing my signature specialized services to businesses and entrepreneurs by Thursday, July 7, 2022. I will market myself and my company on a regular basis through live informative videos demonstrating my expertise and by sharing other relevant content in the form of articles, social media posts, through expert speaking engagements, etc.
Good. Yes, indeed. That is great. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is say it with confidence, right?
It wasn't that. I was like kind of nervous.
You're good. Trust me, you're good. So, and when I tell you guys to say it with confidence, or whatever that emotion is, and put some feeling behind it. When I'm asking you guys to do that, you can put the feeling of love behind it. You can put the feeling of excitement behind it. You can put any of those emotions behind it to help you move in that direction, right? Me, I like to it's almost like I use the negative to wrap me up to go get the positive, right? So I dig deep, and whatever emotion that is that's going to get you going, let's get it, sister.
You want me to do it again?
No, you're good. I'm gonna give you a chance next time.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a chance because this is gonna be ongoing. I want to know that you guys are going through these daily. So the next one we have is going to be Miss Willoughby.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being on.
So my statement of desire, the exact amount of money I desire is $100 million. I intend to give back to those less fortunate in any way, shape, or form I can in return for the money I desire. I intend to possess this money by May 23rd, 2032. My plan of action, number 1, to build my network marketing team. Number 2, build my personal network marketing business. And number 3, invest money to make even more money. Signed by me, March 23rd, 2022.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you will have it. Definitely. And as long as we set the bar high where we have to go out and do these things, we're going to be in motion towards getting them. right? So I love it. I love it that you guys have the ability to participate, to say what it is that you want, and you're going to manifest these things. The thing is, we're gonna have to continue to do it, and we're gonna have to align ourselves with people that can push us there faster, right? That's creating a mastermind. That is how we're going to get where we need to go. All right. But great job, everyone. I love it, and I hope you guys will have the chance to answer those questions that are at the end of each chapter, because those are going to help you figure out how you get there. What was the takeaway from that section that you read? All right, and now we go into chapter 3, where we talk about faith. Right? We're talking about faith. As we talk about faith, how many of you, by the show of hands, knew that you could induce faith? Right? Usually people tell us, just have faith, just have faith. How do we just have faith? How do you just telling me just to believe? Well, understanding from what we read and what we've been noticing is that we can induce ourselves to have faith, right? We can, by planting in the information in our mind and repeating it over and over. Now, understand this here. It works for good or bad, because if you start to say the bad things in your mind, you're going to go out and do the bad things. If you start to tell yourself you're no good, you're going to start to believe that ultimately. This is why we have to be on the positive. Our mind has to be in the positive realm. We have to be constantly moving to put ourselves in a space that is conducive for our learning, putting ourselves around people that are better than us, that can help us get there, right? Those are some things that are going to help us get there quicker. I also mentioned last week about, and maybe I didn't, but it's called going the extra mile. I know I mentioned about, hey, ultimately, even if you're working on someone else's job, be able to climb that ladder. Don't stay in the position that you're in. Climb the ladder. Do extra work. What happens when you start to do extra work for the company that you work for? That in turn is going to go into your business when you want to start a business. Don't be the first person when you know that it's time to clock out, you clocked out and you're running out. Oh, sit down, and now you can sit down and do some of your stuff. You can do some of this stuff. From Think and Grow Rich, you can start to implement that's the start of your 8 hours. Don't just run out, because now you're sitting back, and guess what? The boss or whoever, the foreman or whatever you want to call them, the CEO, they notice people that stay behind. They notice, they're looking all the time, even though they're not saying anything, they are noticing people who are staying behind. But guess what? You can be staying behind, bettering yourself, saying, this is what I'm going to do right now. Let me open up my book. Let me let everybody run out real quick. If there's something on the job that I need to take care of, let me get that done first, and then I'm going to take care of me. Right? So we have to be able to put ourselves in a situation where people see us, that we're working for, because they can help advance us. But guess what? Understand this here. When you get in that position where you are the CEO of that $100 million company, you're going to be looking at your employees as well. You're going to see who you can promote, who's staying behind, who's doing extra work, who's going the extra mile. Those are the people you're going to bring up. Those are the people that support your business. You want to keep those people around, and you want to pay them well, right? But we have to start doing that ourselves and understanding that, right? So faith is visualization and belief in attainment of desire. And this faith can be induced. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When we talk about the head chemist of the mind, we got to have faith in our desires in order to achieve them. And understanding that it allows us to be faithful to God, one, faithful to ourselves, and faithful to the mission that we said that we were going to go out and complete. And that's why you're doing that statement of desire. When you wake up, when you go to sleep, guess what? It calls for you to do it. And even if you skip some days, continue to do it. Write it down on a piece of paper. I don't have to write it on a piece of paper because I've embedded it in myself over time. But what I'm asking you guys to write it on a piece of paper, so when you, even a little note card, put it next to your bed. When you wake up, you see it, it's okay, boom, this is what I'm doing. After I say my prayers, this is what I want, right? Before I go, I'm suppressing my subconscious. So why am I doing that? I'm doing that over and over so it can get me in the motion of moving towards that thing a lot quicker. See, this is what the subconscious mind does. The conscious mind is when we're awake and we're moving around and we can consciously think and move in our actions. Our subconscious mind controls our breathing, right? Helps our heart to pump blood. What we want to do is suppress the subconscious mind so our body just gets up and say, you know what, I'm moving into that way. This is where I need to go. If subconscious mind has our heart on automation, keeps our blood flowing and those different things, why not tell our subconscious, hey, I need you to take care of this. Take care of this for me. So this is why we're doing this repetitive thing every day. But then even in our conscious ways, we have to get out and do the work. Because now that's faith without works is dead. We can't move and just be praying and affirming and then sitting down on our butts and not working towards that thing that we wrote or we're saying to ourselves. So we have to be in a state of constant movement, but acting in a faithful way, knowing that these things are going to come to us. So when you're saying it, say it in the form of prayer. Say it in the form of prayer, but be demanding with it. I know I'm going to have this, right? Because whatever you want in this universe is out there for us to get it. We just have to, one, link up with people and know what we want. Once we know what we want, we're able to move in a way that serves not only us, but all the people that are around us, right? So one of the words that you'll see in the Think and Grow Rich book is infinite intelligence. I'm gonna break that down. Infinite intelligence talks about, it's another word for God, right? Napoleon Hill had so many different students from all across the world. And he understood, he used the terms universal, infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom, but it's a term that's commonly known as God, all right? For every religion, creed, dogma, it's the term known for God. So when he talks about infinite intelligence, I want you guys to understand, we have direct contact with infinite intelligence, right? But we have to sit down and we have to meditate and pray, right? Through prayer, we're asking. Through meditation, we're receiving. We're receiving the word of God. So sometimes you have, and if I relate that to a Bible verse, it's more so of being able to go and sit in your closet and receives God's word. But through meditation, I'm doing the same thing. I've just sat down quietly and I'm being still. And when I'm being still, I'm looking for that answer. We don't have to go up to an outside source to get the answer. It's right within us. Everything that the world is made of, we're made of. The world is 3/4 of water. Our body is 3/4 of water, right? So when we look at nature, we're looking at ourselves. Look at the growth outside. There's abundance everywhere. Never think that there's lack. And never think that someone is going to beat you to the thing that you want. You know why? Because they can't beat you to what you want, because you're going to do it in a certain type of way. You're going to do it in a way that suits you, that's going to be able to suit your customers in this world. So never get in that mode. They got it first. Because we'll look on Instagram, we'll look on Facebook, we'll see these things that people have or they're perpetrating to have. And we think that we're left behind. No, that doesn't work like that. Stay focused on what it is that you want. Have faith in it and continue to move in that direction, because it's going to serve you in the way of getting what you want, right? He also talked about the blending of the three emotions: love, sex, and faith, right? Faith, love, and sex. Now you can utilize one of these emotions, but he's saying these are the three of the most positive emotions. If you learn how to put these together, and guess what? I'm still learning how to put them together. I'm still learning. If you learn how to put love, faith, and sex, the desire for sex, the desire for love, and your faith is being so strong, you put all of those together, it's going to help you colorize. And when you say colorize, it's going to help you see it that much better. So you have to understand, what are the high emotions, All right, what are the emotions that are going to get me to where I will need to be? See what you're doing, you're tuning yourself up. This is a mental tune up for everyone. So as we continue to tune up, it allows us to move in a way that serves us to get what we want out of life. Talked about auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is nothing but self-suggestion, a repetition of a statement. All right, and there's a section on auto-suggestion as we get to it, and that'll be in the next reading. But auto-suggestion is self-suggestion. You should continue to auto-suggest to yourself every day, every day, every day. Sometimes I think my wife think I'm crazy in here. I'm being auto-suggestion. I'm in here talking to myself like I'm talking to you guys right now, right? I'm in the mirror. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say because I see myself doing large classes, teaching, right? Teaching people how to do this, how to become successful and still being successful myself. That's a part of the plan. But if I don't act upon it now, it's not going to happen. What it's called is being prepared for the moment. When you're prepared for the moment and the moment arrives, boom, there's your stage. Let's go get them. So all you're doing now is you're preparing for that moment when it arrives. You never know when that opportunity presents itself, but if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Let me say that again. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Constantly stay ready. So when that opportunity comes, I might meet a Fortune 500 CEO on the elevator. I got to have my elevator pitch. I got to be ready to tell them what I'm doing and do it in a quick and confident manner. Right? But that comes with me constantly saying it. It comes with me knowing it inside out. At our school, we say stimulate, educate, motivate. True Prep Academy, stimulate, educate, motivate. We want to stimulate the mind, we want to educate you, and we want to motivate you to get out and do what you said that you want to do. Stimulate, educate, motivate, right? Come up with your slogan. Come up with the slogan. Stimulate, educate, motivate. Because if I can stimulate the mind, I can get you up, right? Now I can help you maneuver through everything else. But I want to stimulate you in the most positive way that I can possibly do that. And guess what? Here's the other thing that I'm reading another book along with reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's called The Master Key to Riches, The Master Key to Riches. But it also talks about being able to share this information. Share the information. Don't just hold it to yourself. When you start to make an impact on somebody's life or someone else's life, that's huge because they can make an impact on someone else's life, right? Share the information. Get around positive people, right? Send out positive information to people. Trust me, they're going to be grateful. Some of them may not respond, but they will be grateful when they meet up with you. They are going to be grateful. They're going to be like, you know what? I'm thankful. One of those hit home today, right? But understanding that it's not for me to get, I'm not looking for the gratitude to say, oh, you changed my life. No, because I'm changing my own life in the process. I see me in you guys. So in understanding that, why shouldn't I give what I've come to learn back to the people, right? Teach you guys so that you can have a shorter window to get where you need to be. And that's what it's about, right? And we talked about faith can be induced through affirming. We have to affirm day in and day out, right? We must let the subconscious know what we want, believing that we will receive it. If we don't believe that we will receive it, it's not going to come. That's where that little 1 ounce of doubt. We can say it all the time to ourselves, but if we're not saying it and believing it, it's not going to come because you've let that 1 ounce of doubt get into and spoil your plans. Because it's like, oh, I'm going to have this, but am I really going to have it? If you're saying that in the background of your head, no, you're not going to have it if you're questioning it. If you're questioning it, whether you're going to get it because we're in a microwave society and everybody wants it like right now, it may not happen right now. This may be 5 years, it may be 10 years, right? If you look at every successful business, they've probably been in business for about 10 to 15 years before it popped. I'm gonna be honest with you. You got to plant your roots in the ground. When you, I always give this example. Give it to the kids in school. When we plant a seed, the seed has to go into the ground and be covered by dirt, right? Then we have to water the seed. Now the seed starts to grow downward before it grows upward. It starts to plant its roots in the ground. And then when it peaks and breaks the dirt, right? The hardest time is coming through the dirt. When it peaks and comes through the dirt, now it's reached the sunlight, but it's still not finished growing, right? So we have to grow downward and then be able to come up. We have to plant our roots and stay and be stable in order to grow forward. And that comes with faith. The turbulent time is coming through the dirt. Once you made it through the dirt, now you got to be cautious of the sunlight, the birds trying to eat the plants, all those different things. You still have obstacles to go through. So don't think once I made it through the dirt, I'm free. You still have to go through the test. That's the test. That is the test, right? Repetition of affirmations to the subconscious mind is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith, right? We have to constantly repeat what it is to ourselves. And it's all right to say it to yourself in your own home. It's all right to be saying it down the street as you walk, but you're constantly putting your mind on what it is that I want and how I want to get it. Now, if you start doing it around amongst some people, they might think you crazy, but hey, I can be crazy for me. I understand that because these are things that I want, and those people will see it later down the line, right? So once again, these thoughts must be emotionalized. We have to emotionalize our thoughts, and whatever that means. Women, what I'm going to tell you guys are very powerful in all ways. You know how to work this. You know how to work it. I think for us men, we have to learn. We have to learn, what are our emotions? How do we get into them? How do we develop that emotion of love, faith, and sex? Like, sex is not the problem. That emotion, most of the guys know how to get up because we're pretty much on the animalistic side. But just putting the emotion of love and faith back behind something that we want, those are things that have to be taught. And you guys have it. So you just have to believe in yourselves. Belief in self is critical, right? We talked about faith being a state of mind. A state of mind. What is that state of mind? That state of mind has to be a positive state of mind. Because if you have faith in the negative, best believe that negative is going to show up. It's going to come to you. It's going to come. We talk about little things. I like to give little examples as well. I'm sitting there, my child is in the backyard. We have the people before, they cut the gate out and they left some rods into the ground. In my mind, I'm like, I hope he's running out barefooted. But guess who the one end up stomping his feet? Me, because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I stomped my foot trying to think about him not stomping his foot. So we can't give energy to those things. What I'd have to do is, Mr. Smith, you have to go out there, cut them things, get them up so those things don't happen. So what I'm saying is, on the other end, I thought about something that I didn't want to happen, and it happened to me. All right? So when I said the little things, that's how you attract that little stuff real quick. We don't want to attract the little stuff. We want that big stuff to come our way. So we constantly got to be on it. Constantly got to be calling it to ourselves. Our belief of faith is the element which determines the action of our subconscious mind. How we believe it is going to push us forward. If we're not, and I'm constantly going back to it, if we're not constantly putting the work into it, the effort into it to be that person, how do we get there? How do we get there? Because guess what? No one's coming to save you. And when I'm talking about that, no friend, no family member, we have to at least start the process. Start the process so somebody can come and help you. Oh, you made it this far? Hey, I got a friend that can help you elevate. I got a business partner that may want to team up with you. People have to see you doing something before they endorse you. Right? They don't want to just give you a handout and then burn a bridge, a real bridge with a person that they gave you the opportunity with. You don't want to do that. Right? Even in the book, Napoleon Hill talked about deceiving his son's mind. If you read this story, his son was born without ears, but he deceived his mind to make him think that, hey man, everything is all right with you. There's nothing wrong with you. We don't take handouts. But before you know it, the kid was able to hear. And then when they made him the hearing device, he was able to hear way better. So now that's the little white lie that we got to tell ourselves. If you're not believing in yourself right now, if you're not believing in yourself, you're going to have to embed this. You're going to have to embed this into yourself until you understand, until you should say, you know what? I am that person. And there's an affirmation that I picked up. Even this week, just doing something. And I was like, you know what? I like how that sounds. It says that I am one of the richest and most influential men in the world. I am one of the richest and most influential men in the world. Right? And I've been saying that all week because I truly believe it. Right? You have to tell yourself what it is that you want. I am, and live in it. Right? Not I am going to be. No, Mr. Smith, I am. Call it into your life and walk towards it. As long as I'm doing that work, I know that I'm going to get there. Right? So find some affirmations that sparks your interest. These are the things that are going to help propel you to get to the next level. Right? And just understand that you got to have faith in yourself. Right? God made each one of us in his own image. Then I feel a part of God lives within us, if not all of God. When you're having faith in yourself, you're having faith in God. You're trusting God's word to say, you know what, I'm going to move in this direction and I'm going to take the understanding. And God, we ask him plenty of time, hey, God, just take the wheel. Just navigate me to where I need to go. And when we're asking that, in a sense, it's us constantly moving. We're saying, God, take the wheel. I've given you full control of my soul to be elevated into the next level. Right? So understand what that is and how we're going to be able to move in that manner. Ask for what you want. Don't be shy about it. Don't be shy about it. Guess what? If you fall short of $100 million, you might fall at $80 million. Have you made a gain? Yes. So if you don't set the bar high, if you say, okay, I just want to make $100 and you end up making 60, that's how it works sometimes. Sometimes we fall short of the glory. But if you set it high, that means I'm going to do a lot more work. I'm going to get a lot more people on my team to help me get where I need to be. I understand what it is that I want and I'm going to get it. Even if I fall 20 million short, I can make that up on the back end. Right? But we don't want to fall short. But it happens. And one of the assignments for this week is, I want you guys, how many of you guys read through the assignment this week where it talked about the self-confidence creed? The self-confidence creed, right? And as you read that, and that's something that I say to myself every day, I say it over my kids, because I truly believe that is something that has allowed me to get to the next level of my life. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The self-confidence creed, saying my statement of desire in the morning and at night. So as a self-confidence creed, it was funny because I listened to the audio book and I was like, they had the audacity to put this man on here saying this self-confidence creed that dry. I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I will demand of myself persistent, continuous, aggressive action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to such action. Hey, I'm laughing because you know what? I was like, you know, in my mind, I'm constantly thinking, you know what? Ooh, Napoleon Hill, they're going to have to pay me for this, right? Because I'm going to make their book good. That's what I'm thinking. But I think like that as I read it, because it's almost like, and I hear it, and then you hear the different audio voices, I said, you know what, that's a career too, reading books. Because if you're able to read the book where the reader is enticed by the reading, they're going to want to buy that book a lot more, right? So even in doing the self-confidence screen, what I need you guys to do, learn it a little bit at a time and learn it in the words that you want to learn it in, right? I've changed a few words on it myself. Excuse me. But I'm going to go through that, the self-confidence creed, and I'm going to tell you how I say it. I'm going to give it to you. It says, and this, I'm not reading it off a script. I've learned this over the course of time. It says, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I will demand of myself persistent, continuous, aggressive action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves into outward physical action, gradually transforming themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. I have clearly written a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. I fully realize that no wealth nor position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all of humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others would never help me to succeed. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and in myself, right? So, and it's a little more that tells you about it, but I cut it off right there. And I say that every day, and it has built my confidence, right? And it talks about 10 minutes daily, seeing the person that I want to become, putting 10 minutes daily into your personal development. Well, let me tell you how I do that. I kind of went over that last week, but let me tell you how I do that. I might put about 10, 20, 30 minutes into it. 10 minutes of personal development a day. One is going through those affirmations, going through the statement of desire, going through that affirmation. And I have another one that I learned from his, the laws of success, which says, I believe in myself. I'll run that one off to you guys here in a minute. But I spend about 10 minutes just affirming and going over every day. And then after that, I'm writing those texts, right? I come up with a text, positive text to put out. After that, I find a video to go with that text. And I look at the video. So I'm charging my battery. One, I've already charged myself up. And then I get the outside charge from the video at the end, right? So I've compiled about 15, 20 minutes of that, because guess what? I've been saying it to myself over and over and over, and it's like it's automated now. It's automated for me. And I want that to happen for you. So you got to understand, go through that, learn it a little bit at a time. Even if you recorded this, go back and listen to what I said. Guess what? If you got to put it to some music, go back and do that as well. Whatever way you need to learn it, learn it, because it's going to help you, right? So, and that's going to be our assignment, even if it's just learning the first portion of it. If I had the ability, I'm not sure if Claudia can pull it up, but we have it where our kids say that first part of it. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I will demand of myself persistent, continuous, aggressive action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action, right? Our kids say that in the morning. Guess what I figured out? right? Guess what I figured out? We have been affirming in school for years. How many of you guys know the Pledge of Allegiance? Right now to this day, that's an affirmation because we know it has been embedded. That's an affirmation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands. Like, why not affirm to ourselves? Make it part of your day. So we stop affirming to the United States. We know we love our country. We know we're patriots. We know that. So we need to affirm to ourselves daily, right? And that's part of that faith. That's part of me putting the action into me growing and becoming a better person. You have to understand that. So talk to yourself like you would talk to somebody else. Be on yourself like that. Am I doing the things that I need to do to become the person I need to become? Those are the things that are going to be able to help us to get across to ourselves. Yes, the Pledge of Allegiance is an affirmation. It is. Think about it. They embedded that into our system to make us patriots of our country. But we need to be, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's me recognizing and say, hey, look at this way. Right? Why not affirm to yourself? So I brought that up so you guys can see that it's being done subconsciously. We all know it. We know it because we've been saying it from the early age of maybe 5 all the way up until about 18, 19, every day in school. And that's 180 days. So why not be able to do that for yourself? Why not be able to put that work in for yourself? That's all we're saying. So I try to give you guys those analogies so it opens up your mind. Come in with an open mind. I'm not telling you, I'm not going to get up and tell you anything bad because that's not what the philosophy is about. It's about us being able to share this information. It's about us being able to share this information so we all can get over that hump. We all can be celebrating on that island. We all can create a financial group to invest in some things. All right? What I want for myself, I want for everybody else. Trust that. And it's about us growing as a community. It's about us constantly putting on ourselves in a way of health, wealth, and prosperity. All right? We don't want to be in a situation where we're not operating at our fullest. We have to understand. We have to understand. Go through the principles. Now you have 2 assignments every day. You have to get up and say your statement of desire. You have to say your statement of desire before you go to bed, when you wake up. Then you have to learn your self-confidence creed. I used to record myself on the phone and go back and hear myself. Of course, I had to learn it plain first, and then I start to emotionalize it. But learn it and give yourself a time frame for that. I'm going to learn it within the next month. I'm going to learn it within the next 2 months. But listen, I'm here to tell you it works. There's another one that he says that I read in this, and I told you guys I'll run this one off to you, but it says, I go into this one right after I come off the self-confidence creed. It says, I believe in myself. I believe in those that I work with. I believe in my business. I believe in my friends. I believe in my family. I believe that God will give to me everything in which I need to succeed if I do my best to earn it through faithful and honest service. I believe in prayer and will never close my eyes to sleep at night without praying for divine guidance to the end, that I may be patient with people and tolerant of those who do not believe as I do. I believe that success is the result of intelligent and efficient effort and does not depend on luck, sharp practices, double-crossing friends, or my fellow man. I believe that I will get out of life exactly what I put into it. Therefore, I'll be careful to conduct myself towards others as I would want them to act towards me. I will not slander those whom I do not like. I will not slight my work no matter what I may see others doing. I will render the best service in which I am capable of doing, because I've pledged myself to succeed, and I know that success is always the result of intelligent and efficient effort. Finally, I'll forgive those who offend me, because I realize sometimes I may offend others and will need their forgiveness too. Right? Powerful. Powerful. Because sometimes we think that, you know what, our stuff don't stink. We think that our stuff don't stink. We think that we just God's gift to the earth. But when I heard that end, it's like, you know what? Wow. Wow. I'll forgive those who offend me because I realize sometimes I may need others to forgive me for the actions that I brought on them. So even with that, understand where it is you want to be in life. And Claudiane has just put up my wife, Claudiane, she's just put up the self-confidence creed, right? But learn it to your liking. Put the words in that you like, right? We all know how to cook gumbo, but everybody's gumbo is going to be slightly different. Put the words in that you like. Ad lib, make it work for yourself, right? And making it work for yourself, it's tailored for you. Your jeans fit you, don't they? Your dress fits you. So make the statement fit you. And then understanding that, we'll come back and see how it works, all right? We'll come back. It's important that we go through the steps. And guess what? We can go through the readings. You can go through the stories. Here's another thing that I want to tell you guys. As you read your book, read with a highlighter and read with a pen. Underline, write in your books. Underline, write in your books. Because guess what? Here's my cheat code. I've read all the stories. I can tell you all of the stories. Sometimes I just want to get to the meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes. Give me the meat and potatoes. Once I learn, okay, the story sounds good. I want to keep going back through the stories. I can say, okay, story. If you look at my book, you're going to see writing. You see writing in the pages. You're going to see highlighting. I need write, highlight things that are relevant to you, things that work for you. This is class. We need to like write. The space on the side of the book to write. The slots at the bottom to write. Write things that capture your attention. So when you go back through it the next time, because it's not a one read, it's not a one-time read. We have to read it over and over. Every time you see that TV show, you learn something different. Every time you listen to some music, you learn something different. Every time you read something, you're going to come back and find something different. Wow. And here's the other thing. Reading at a young age, I can come back now at an older age, from 28 to 47, I can come back now and say, you know, I have a better understanding, right? So as we grow older, that wisdom sets in and it can break it down for us what we're looking for. So understand that it has to come with a price, and you have to be able to pay that price of 30 minutes a day, just getting yourself prepared for the world. You put your armor on before you step out your homes. So you know you're secure. When I put my armor on, there's nobody that can get me off of my rocker because I'm already prepared. I've already worked out that morning, right? I've taken myself to the brink in there, almost passing out, right? And then I come and meditate and then take a shower, put my clothes on. Now it's time to go to work. But I got to make time for those things. You have to create time slots in your life for all of these things that you want to do. Even if it's getting up before the household gets up, right? Get up before everybody gets up so you're in a quiet space and you can have time to think. You want to be in that space, and that space is huge. That space is huge for us getting to the next level. We need our personal space. So trust me on this. I'm here to ride with you. Any questions that you guys may have about the lessons that we've gone over, and this is what I would want from you guys. Any way we can make this, I know we've done 2 sessions already, maybe 3 with the first one, but any way that we can make this better, I'm always looking for constructive feedback, right? I take it in the sense of, you know what? I want to get better. I want to be the best I can possibly be. So in doing that, you give me positive feedback or a constructive feedback, which is going to help make me a better person. My skin is thick. Right? And I know that constructive criticism helps you get to the next level. We probably better off having haters. Our haters make us work. The people that like us, they tell us they oh no, you're doing a great job. You're doing this. But when you get somebody constructively criticized, you're like, oh no. But then you start to think, you know what? Maybe your enemy's gonna tell you the real about yourself. Your friend's gonna kind of sugarcoat it and be like, girl, you know, you all right. You looking good. The enemy gonna be like, well, you weren't dressed right today. You weren't talking right. They gonna tell you what it is out their mouth, and they gonna tell you fast because they don't really like you. Right? So you listen to them people and you say, you know what? Right. I'm gonna make the necessary adjustment. So never be afraid of constructive criticism. Right? It only helps us. That's their view. All right. So are there any questions? Are there any questions that I can answer or that you guys may have moving into this next week? It's been great because I'm learning as well. Breakout rooms, yes. We spoke about that, to where we can, with the mass amount of people, where we can break out into different breakout rooms and be able to get together. Let me ask you guys this here. If we did something on Wednesday evenings, would that be helpful? Drop a 5 in the box, right? So if we did something on Wednesdays, that would be helpful because now we can get together, you know, and we can create teams in there and start to put people together that hold to create our accountability partners or groups. Great. So we'll come up with that time. We'll send the email out as well, and preferably in the evening. And why I do this on Sundays? Sunday is the first day of the week. We like to regard Monday as the first day of the week, but if we're prepared Monday is we're gonna take on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? I like to get us energized before we step into the week. Put our arm on every day. Put your arm on. All right. Monique, you have a question? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, great evening. Let me put my camera on so you're not talking to a blank screen. Wow, this was powerful. This was really good. I wanted to know, because I missed the first 2 sessions. Does it start at 7? Well, obviously it starts at 7, but is that for the rest of the sessions? Because I have it launched at 8. Okay.
Yes, every session will start at 7, and we're working to have those videos. We have the video tech back. My son, he's back from Dubai. He took a little trip, a business trip, but he's back, and we're gonna upload those on YouTube, so you guys can be able to go to YouTube and watch it. So we like, guess what? I haven't been into the content creating, and my wife been trying to get me on that, but I see the value of it. So we can all be able to go back into these sessions and utilize it. So those are some things that, guess what, I had deficiencies in. I'm not afraid to say it. Keep me off of the camera. But with that and understanding, it's just like she says, you have a gift. You have a gift. You have something that the world needs to see. I don't need to be the only one seeing this. Spread your gift. And I'm like, you know what? I did say I was going to be great one day. So with understanding that, hey, let's all be great together. All right, Miss Monica. You are on.
Oh, hi. First, I want to say thank you, Mario, for this, because, you know, I never realized that I memorized the Pledge of Allegiance from a kid, and how I is embedded in my memory, how I remember it. So now I'm thinking of the things that I can tell myself that I can actually start to do so I can become. And I just wanted to know, what are some affirmations that you would recommend someone that they could start to grow their faith and belief in to continue to do?
Well, there are a number of them. I'm gonna give you a recommendation. Look on the internet, positive affirmations, right? When you start to look at those positive affirmations, pick out maybe 3 or 4 of them, right? You can join the Facebook group as well. And even in just reading the book, there's one that he says, day by day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Day by day in every way, I'm getting better and better, right? And you have to know that. You have to trust and believe in everything that I touch turns into gold. That's one of my favorite. Anybody that I come in contact with, and I also say that in prayer, Father God, bless me to be a blessing for those that I come in contact with, right? So that I can spread great energy, so that I can be that person to help anybody in need. So find out the ones that suit you, but I go through and research. And when you research, you're gonna find 4 or 5. You're gonna see more than that, but find the ones that you like, that suit you, and say, you know what, I'm gonna ride with these until I embed them, and then I can do some more.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Miss Jocelyn. One second.
Okay, there we go. Now I can.
Okay.
Yes, I put 7, but I didn't put Eastern Standard Time, so I thought I was getting on early. So this would have been my first time. So you'll have them maybe on Wednesday now, or possibly.
Yes, on Wednesday, but we on Wednesday, it'll pretty much be a recap of what we went over, and we're looking to group you guys into groups, have breakout rooms, just to hold everybody accountable for doing the steps and doing everything that we're being asked to do in the realm of the book.
Okay, so we Wednesday is a recap, and then Sunday's going to be the next class.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so you'll send an email for that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Thank you so much for this. This will be, I can't wait to hear about it. And you said your son, do you have any idea when he may get the first 1 and 2? And is he pretty good with that? He get it out pretty soon? Or
He is pretty good with it. I can say that we'll have it up before Tuesday.
okay, sounds good. And that would be on YouTube or email?
It's going to be on YouTube, but we'll email you guys out the YouTube links.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you so much.
All right. It says iPad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well in yourself.
Good. So I actually have two. Well, my first question is, how do I subscribe to the morning motivational text or whatever?
Well, we're gonna have those. I'm place those into the Facebook group. So if you can join our Facebook group, you'll get them there every morning.
Okay. All right. Okay. And my second, this is just kind of asking for just a tip, I guess.
Okay.
I've been actively doing my, saying my affirmations every day and the things that I want, but sometimes also, meditation. And I just noticed that my whole routine probably takes maybe 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. But sometimes I definitely get it in every day, at least try to do something. But sometimes something might come up and I really can't dedicate that whole 30 minutes or that 45 minutes to, myself. Do you have any tips, I guess, because if I don't, I always try to do it, but if I don't have the time to do it, I notice myself kind of feeling guilty because I don't put not the right energy, but all of my energy into it. I might be doing something, driving, saying my affirmations or doing something else. I don't know. Do you have any tips on, I guess more so of time management?
With time management, what I would say is, even if you meditate for 5 or 10 minutes, as long as you get it in, you can cut that routine down. And then let's say, even what I do is I take Saturdays and Sundays and I may meditate to 30, 45 minutes during that time. You know what I mean? On the weekends when we're not as active, I can put a little more time into my faith and my faith building. But during the course of the day is what I can tell you is get it in small bursts. So you may do 5 or 10 minutes in the morning time. You may do 5 or 10 minutes in the afternoon, and then you can do in the evening 5 or 10 minutes, right? So you break it up, and it doesn't have to, and it's still going to add up. So if you put 10 in the morning, 10 in noon, and 10 in the evening, you've gotten that 30 minutes in, right? And it's more repetitive now. It's rather than just doing it one time.
Okay. Also, just one more thing. Do you really suggest like writing it down every day? Writing down your goals every day, is that a thing I should definitely always do, like no matter what? You know, like the wake up, write it down, go to sleep, write it down, or
Well, they want you, how it was instructed is you write it down once and you're able to say it to yourself, hear yourself saying it,
right.
right? So now you memorize it. Now it's embedded in your memory. Just like we talked about the affirmation of the Pledge of Allegiance. Once you have that in your mind, you don't need that paper anymore because it's a part of you now. All right. Just go through the activity of doing it at first, because writing, when we write it, we tend to memorize it a lot faster when we write it. So if you need to start that process doing that like that now, great. But before you know it, you'll be like, okay, I got this.
Okay. So if I already know it, there's no need to write it down if it's at the top.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
indeed.
so much.
Thank you. Nakira?
Yes, hi. I just wanted to know, what is the exact name of the Facebook group?
Coach Mario Smith Elevation.
Coach Mario.
And she,
Thank-
Ms. Claudiane put it into the chat group as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else has any questions? Well, I tell you what, it's been a very good session. And I thank you guys for even allowing me to be in your presence, allowing me to help elevate you guys to the next level, and allowing for me to grow from you guys. Because the more I teach it, the more I gain an understanding, right? And I'm blessed by the question. I do have a question, Mr. Garthian Muhammad.
Yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
You doing well in yourself?
I'm doing well. Question, on Wednesdays, will those classes, will they be recorded somehow, or how will we be able to get the information for that particular portion of the week? Sundays is good for me, Wednesdays not so much. And I think you know why.
So I think one of the things what you and I will do, we'll sit down, and this is Mr. Muhammad, you guys, you work very closely with him with a True Prep Academy. And to answer the question is, what we'll do is we'll sit down and we'll go and see how we do with our Zooms and how we can record those breakout rooms.
Okay.
Once we have them, we'll be able to store them and be able to put them back into the Facebook group.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Walter.
Yes, good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
I had asked last week by message if it's possible, if you wouldn't mind sharing your vision board with us.
Oh, the vision board. Real quick, let me see if I can I brought it to the forefront. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. Claudia, is that something that you can pull up if I send it to you real quickly? So I'm gonna go through the vision board with you guys really quickly. I have it on as a picture, and I brought it to the forefront. Let me see. What I tell you is, we can work on that Wednesday. I don't want to have everybody here just waiting, so I'll make sure I do that for Wednesday for everyone. And I'll show you guys what my vision board looks like. And I actually started working on a new one. But the vision board has everything that I want. And a lot of those things I've already accomplished. So even like your words, but if you can't express it in words, you're able to see it in pictures, but I promise you I'll have it for you Wednesday. That's a great way to constantly go out and work towards what you want. But you got to be able to see it, put it somewhere where it's visible. All right. So Walter, what I'll do is Wednesday, Wednesday, for sure. If you're not on Wednesday, I'll have it on for next Sunday as well. Does that work for you? All right. Are there any more questions? Any more questions? I definitely want to thank each and every one of you guys for being a part of the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind group. And definitely look forward to Wednesday. We'll get those things going and be able to move in the right direction so that we can all be wealthy, right? Wealthy from a standpoint of our mental, physical, and spiritual nature, and all the material success you want in life. But work on those three: mental, physical, and spiritual. And there's another quote that I'm gonna go over real quick, and it came from The Science of Getting Rich. It says, it's called consecration. It says, and I love this one here because it sums up how we should be operating. It says, I sacrifice my body to be ruled by my mind. I sacrifice my mind to be governed by my soul. And I sacrifice my soul to the guidance of God, right? My body doesn't tell my mind what to do. My mind tells my body what to do. My soul tells my mind what to do. And God ultimately is the ultimate that tells my soul what to do, right? So it's in those divisions of how we grow. I sacrifice my body to be ruled by my mind. So a lot of times when, because your health is important to me. A lot of times when we supposed to be working out, guess what your body gonna say? Oh, I don't feel like it. Your body tell your mind, I don't feel like it. And your mind say, you know what? All right, you don't gotta go. So you gotta be strong in the mind when your body telling you don't want to do something, but your mind know it's right for you, get up and go do it. Make it happen. Do it now. Find some little points to say, do it now. Get it now. Let's go. Talk to yourself in that way. I don't feel like doing this right now. Man, get up and go do it so it can be done. It can be out of the way. All right. Let's stop procrastinating. Procrastination, and that's a whole nother chapter that's in there too. Procrastination kills our dreams. Stop procrastinating. Do it now. Do it now. So with that being said, I'm going to close out. Close your eyes, bow your heads. Let's give thanks. Father God, as we come before you on this glorious day, we're grateful to have you in our presence. Continue to elevate us mentally, physically, and spiritually, Father. Move us through this week with all the self-confidence that we need to become the person that we need, Father God. We ask these words in your name, and in your name shall we continue to pray. Amen.